we're gonna learn how to animate properly because some of these people try to animate without knowing anything. This is for beginner to intermediate shit, you know, since, you know, I'm a professional basically. So first we're gonna talk about arcs. Now, what the fuck is an arc? An arc is a circle. It's just a circle, and when he throws the punch, his fist, it goes in an arc. It's great, look at that. I even drew a circle for you guys. Now, following an arc makes animating smoothly way easier. The size of your objects more consistent. It makes the movement more consistent. It's just overall a great thing. So just add arcs to every single movement because they're great. The next thing we're going to be talking about is spacing. So if you wonder why your animation looks really choppy, is because you have really bad pacing. Really bad spacing. If you look at this pig animation, it looks pretty smooth. You know why? Because it has good spacing. So if you look at these guidelines over here that I made, it's gonna measure the top of his head. And as you can see, look at those lines. They're so properly organized, right? Look at those, they look sexy. And now you're probably wondering, why are these lines much closer than you know, the other lines? You know, shouldn't they be like equal size? No, you're retarded. And that leads into our next rule, which is ease-ins and ease-outs. Ease-in and ease-outs are practically your friends. They're the best. You basically achieve them by just making a bunch of drawings near each other, so it can go out and go in, add a motion really good. For example, if you take a box and just pretend it's sliding across the floor, as you can see, it doesn't look natural at all. I fucking can't speak. It doesn't look natural at all. So what you want to do is you want to go to classic ease, and then look at this. Look how sexy that is. Yeah. Anyway, my next tip, it's not really a tip. It's more just practice it, okay? It's perspective. In animation, and especially in character design, you need to learn to draw your characters in all of the perspectives. Okay, perspective is really important. You gotta remember the rules. Like a character that has a protruding thing, when it looks 3/4, it's actually the same size as it is in a side profile. It's insane. I learned that like a year ago only, dude. It's great. Perspective, and yeah, it just helps so much. It helps with making spin an object when you change or move your camera. It's great for making backgrounds. It's great for integrating your characters into background. It's just so much more that helps out when you just learn perspective. Next thing we're gonna learn is smearing. Now, I'm pretty sure you've seen a smear. They look like this. They're great, okay? Now, the thing that people don't understand about smears is you gotta follow the arc. Ugh! Now, what do I mean by follow the arc? Now, for example, when people try to in-between a smear, what they do, right? Instead of following an arc, okay, instead they just do a straight line. Why you stupid? Look how stupid it looks when you do a straight line. Look at that. What kind of shitty smear? What is that? But if you actually take the time to make the arc, look how much nicer that looks. That's just my rant about smears, okay? But you can do multiple types of smears. There's a lot of types of there's really no rule except for the rule to follow your art. Anyway, the last tip I'm gonna show you is to draw on twos. Consider 12 FPS as working on twos, and consider this as working on one. If you compare them, as you can see, obviously, the 24 FPS is much smoother. But if you look at this one, it looks fine as well. It actually looks crispier, as I like to call it. Now, basically, you might be asking, why would you work on twos? It just makes your shit choppier. Wrong! Literally, every single animation I've made here is made on twos, and they still look smooth. And this just shows that smoothness does not show in how many frames you have next to each other. It's about arcs. It's just arcs, basically. It's just arcs. Follow arcs. Smoothness isn't just about how many keyframes you have next to each other. It's about following the arc for some. Please follow the arc. And another advantage to working on twos is it saves so much time. And it's also, you don't have to be as precise Working on 2s is really good on slow movements. It hides your motion tween really well, so it doesn't look as smooth. As you can see, most of this walk cycle is actually motion, well, not actually, all of it is motion tween, but if you look at the 12 FPS, it looks almost everything is hand-drawn. It's great. Now, saying that, working on 1s also is pretty good if you want to get that really crisp animation, really smooth 24 FPS, and it's really good for fast animations. As you can see here on my smear animation, you see the most of the fast movements is actually made on 1s. But overall, working on 2s is really great for saving time, for less effort, and for lazy people like me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!
You ain't been home all day. Bitch, it's been a long day. Shut your fucking mouth and count this money. It's gonna take all day. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. I still got worries. Looked outside my driveway and I ain't seen no Rari. Stage too high, plus some weight so high. Okay, put a barrel out and watch it. This is so out. Okay, she gon' tell her.